Welcome back to 5-Minute Fantasy Football, presented to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and our friends over at Underdog. Make sure you go to Underdog, download Underdog, use promo code FFSGPN so they know we sent you. Make sure you hit the higher on the Derrick Henry touchdown. Great building block for your pick'em slips. Let's talk about my updated rankings. And before we talk about that, let's talk about some defenses to attack. The best defense is the Buccaneers. They're giving the most points to the quarterback position, and the Jaguars, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Cowboys. As far as running backs, Panthers, Jaguars, Bills, Cowboys, Buccaneers. Receivers, Ravens, Jaguars, Vikings, Lions, Falcons. Tight ends, you have Raiders, Panthers, Bengals, Chiefs, Buccaneers. This is points per game. Kickers, Dolphins, Falcons, Raiders, Ravens, Panthers. And for defensive special teams, you want to attack the Titans, the Raiders, the Giants, the Browns, and the Cowboys. So I got my updated rankings here. Let's just talk about some individual positions. At the quarterback position, I really like the AFC West minus the Raiders. Justin Herbert's been playing very good ball. He's been playing very efficient. But on top of it, he's been running the ball really well. And you've seen the increase in the passing game, the increase in the scrambling as he's gotten healthier, and they're less reliant on the running game. They're actually throwing when they're on positive game scripts, which is great. Patrick Mahomes gets an awesome Carolina Panthers matchup. And then you have Bo Nix gets an awesome matchup against the Raiders. So I would pick any of those guys for my, quarterback start of the week. But those are guys that I'm definitely higher on. And then as far as the overall quarterback position, my rankings go Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, Geno Smith, Anthony Richardson, Tua, and Drake May. CJ Stroud and Jordan Love finish up my top 15. Then we go into the running back position, and a guy that I really like. I think you get one last rodeo with Isiah Pacheco being out. Kareem Hunt is a stud. I think a multi-TD game here is something I might toss him, sprinkle a little bit on. Brian Robinson Jr. is back. I think Eckler is still in play. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers backfield, the Giants defense is just, they've been giving up a lot of yards. Maybe not a lot of touchdowns, but a lot of yards. And I think with, Mike Evans coming back, they're still depleted a little bit on the pass catching. I think this is another attack. You also have Tristan Wirfs coming off of injury. And then you have, the other play here would be, going to the receiver position. Before we go to the receiver position, let's go back to the running backs. Tyron Tracy is someone I would play. I know the Bucs have notoriously been tough, but Tracy's been getting a ton of work. I still would play him. As far as the running back position, 12, I have James Conner. 11, Brian Robinson Jr., Joe Mixon at 10, Aaron Jones at 9, Jahmyr Gibbs at 8, Kenneth Walker at 7, Josh Jacobs at 6, Kareem Hunt at 5. I'm higher than ECR on both of them. Saquon Barkley at 4, Derrick Henry at 3, Devon Achane at 2, and Christian McCaffrey at 1. Another sneaky play with Jordan Mason. They're starting Brandon Allen over, because Brock Purdy is out this week. Look for a lot of rushing the ball. Deebo Samuel's going to get a couple extra rushes. You're going to see Kyle Juszczyk get a couple extra carries. But I think Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey get a ton of work while they try to, save Brandon Allen from, a tough matchup here against Green Bay. Let's move to the receiver position and talk about my receiver rankings. My number one receiver on the week is A.J. Brown. Devonta Smith is out. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill at 7, CeeDee Lamb at 8, DK Metcalf at 9, Malik Neighbors at 10, Mike Evans at 11, and George Pickens. He's already played. Terry McLaurin at 13. I'm pretty high on Terry this week, and not as many are, but I like the matchup. Zay Flowers at 14, Lad McConkey at 15, Cortland Sutton 16, Calvin Ridley at 17, JSN 18, Jaden Reed 19, Deebo Samuel at 20, Josh Downs 21, Marvin Harrison Jr. 22, Juwan Jennings 23, and Jameson Williams at 24. let's talk about my receivers and some of the guys I'm a little higher on. Again, a lot of those guys you're going to have to keep an eye on, Schefter and everybody, because of the injuries. A lot of those guys were questionable. San Francisco 49ers, they're I'm going to be a little bit more down on their guys. It's really tough to have Brandon Allen go in there. I think just the volume's going to go down for George Kittle included, but for Juwan Jennings, the volume just to go down than what he's been getting. Guys that I'm higher on, Cortland Sutton, DeAndre Hopkins, absolutely love their matchups. I just don't like the matchup for Jacoby Myers. He's another guy. He's a guy that I'm down on. And then Malik Neighbors, just be cautious here. Tommy DeVito, we've not seen that, but Neighbors, really has not been the same since week 3 or 4. And then as far as the tight end position, Dallas Goedert is someone that I am 5 spots higher than ECR on. Anytime that Devonta Smith is out, you see a positive correlation with Dallas Goedert's play. So I like him. I think it's time you start trusting Will Dissly, Jonnu Smith, and Hunter Henry. We have 6 teams out, so there's a lot of guys, some guys that have been underperforming, like Mark Andrews and Sam Laporta and TJ Hawkinson. You just trust your studs, throw them in the lineup. Don't get too cute here. Zach Ertz is another guy. Get him in there. And again, we talked about, the tight ends. The tight ends you're gonna try to attack some of these defenses. The Denver Broncos are one of the ones to attack, and I really love Brock Purdy this week. Or Brock Bowers this week. Number 1, Travis Kelce. Number 2, Brock Bowers. Number 3, Trey McBride. McBride has a juicy matchup. George Kittle, Cade Otton, David Njoku, Dallas Goedert, Will Dissly, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, Sam Laporta, TJ Hawkinson. That wraps up my tight ends. As far as defenses, you may have to stream Miami at 12, Arizona at 11, Philly at 10, Minnesota at 9, Tampa at 8, 7 is Detroit, 6 is Green Bay, 5 is Washington, 4 is Kansas City, 3 is Houston, 2 is Pittsburgh, and 1 is Denver. All right, this has been 5 Minute Fantasy Football. As always, good luck this week.